Hello folks and welcome back to another rebuild. We're going to go and do something, another big team. We did Real Madrid. Now we are going to go over to France and PSG. The aim of this rebuild is to win the Champions League as many times as we can in the 5 years. If we can manage it more than once, that is, because in the last 15 attempts they've not won it, which includes 11 times now on the bounce in the competition. Even with a massive wage budget of £5.5 million a week, it just seems insane. They have won the Cup Winners' Cup, but that was back in 1996. They enjoy the best spell in the 2010s. Undoubtedly the most successful club in France, boasting 49 competition wins. They did reach the final of the Champions League, however, in 2020. The favoured position, they've obviously got Mbappe, Messi and TK, Fabian, Sola, Verratti, Mendes, Ramos, Marquinhos, Hakimi and Donnarumma, which I haven't had the pleasure of playing with at all in any other rebuild, and that's because he won't leave PSG. So we'll see what he's all about, shall we? But that is their favourite formation. It's a formation I kind of like as well. So with it being PSG, I would like to continue this formation if at all possible. Sign high reputation players is what the chairman is asking of us. Play attacking football. Increase commercial. Grow the club's reputation. Maintain the club's status as the most reputable team in France. Work within the budgets. And reach the latter stage of the Champions League. Do they ever want to win it? Continue? No, there's no desire to win it, but that's not what we're all about in this rebuild. We are trying to win the Champions League and see how many times we can win it. I would have expected our staff to be the best in the league. Just a couple of anomalies, and that's only with just half the staff though, to be fair. Recruitment needs a lot of work as well. Medical, quite happy with. Finances, £94 million in bank. There is no budget because we're not doing a first window transfer. So we'll leave that to the second season. Wages, bang on, as you would expect. Any debts? A lot. £447 million debt. So looking at the better players, and Mbappe at 23, obviously he's the one person you probably want to hang on to at 23 years old, but £900,000 a week. That's insane. Neymar as well and Messi. That's just crazy. Neymar will probably, you know what? We'll give it. We can't do anything for the first season. We may try and offload in the second season. 30 years old. Same with Messi, 35. I mean, we're talking 1.4, 1.5 million pounds a week in salaries there. Marquinhos as well. I mean, there's the difference in salaries between the top three. Well, even Messi's on 675. Discount price. Obviously, because he's 35 years old. We've got Hakimi, Verratti, Ramos, 36 as well. I mean, this team is looking a little bit older. Emery, at 16 years old, great potential. Donnarumma, only 23. So look at the aging players, and there is quite a lot. Wijnaldum, he's out on loan, £180,000. They have got a fair few players 30 and above. Neymar, yeah, I'd like to hang on to him a little bit longer actually, but Messi, I don't know. Maybe we can get some youngsters to come in and shadow them. Maybe that could be an option. Cardi, I've always liked Cardi, it has to be said, but at 29 years old, if he's not being used, maybe we cash in. So let's go and sort out our formations, any more staffing issues, etc., and see if we can find a formation that fits. But I am leaning towards the diamond formation. So the formation for this season, we are going with the 4-3-3 diamond formation with just the one player that I want to see if we can nurture a little bit more. We have got Pereira in that position, but he is around about 29 years old. So Wittner's 22, I believe. And he's probably one of the future players for this club. So we're going to try and put him in now. He can play in midfield, but we are going to stick him in the DM role. Every other position is literally marked out for themselves. So if we have a quick look at the best 11, judging by the coach, we've got Mbappe, Messi, Neymar, obviously. We've also got Wijnaldum when he's back off injury. Fabian, Verratti, who can play midfield as well, actually. Mendes, Kimpembe, Marquinhos, Hakimi and Donnarumma. Big gaps in the middle of the pitch apart from the top three, as you probably would expect. 5-star players. I mean, they're going to be hard to replace. However, we will save a lot on salaries. So far we've done okay. We've just had the one loss in a friendly against Benfica. That was quite surprising. I'm expecting we didn't have an awful lot of players in that. Well, in fact, I'm mistaken. Neymar, Messi, Mbappe all did play. Too much is dependent on them 3 players, I feel. We do win the Trophy de Champs, so that's our first trophy. See how many trophies we get as well. But we're more interested in the Champions League. So if we quickly go through the league results, we do draw our first game against Clermont 1-1, which is very, very surprising, actually, to be fair. Neymar getting us off the mark, but they do equalise just before half-time. But Montpellier, we beat Lille, Monaco, Toulouse and Nantes as well. The Champions League, let's have a quick look at who we get there. We have drawn Sevilla, Sporting and Kiev. We are top of the table, obviously. I'm not expecting that to change at all. I'm expecting to be a clean sweep throughout the 5 seasons we have got. So without any further ado, let's go ahead and simulate this first season. We did have a comment of how to simulate a season. So let me just quickly show you as we go through it. So season 1 is about to be simulated. We first go to the home bit. We then go to our profile and on to go on holiday, of which case we change the date here. We get next week, next month, next match, or choose, and then we just simulate right to the end of the season, in which case round about the 4th of June is roughly round about where we are going to be going. So what we'll do, we'll go on holiday then, and we'll come straight back. As expected, we win Ligue 1. Only just 4 points. We did lose 6 games along the way, disappointingly. Who was that against? Auxerre, Nice, Monaco, Montpellier, Lens and Lyon as well. Well, I'm surprised that none of our front 3 won the Golden Boot. Wow, that's disappointing. Results-wise, we lose our first game to Lyon in September. After having straight wins for a while, we go on another unbeaten run. Nothing too extravagant though, to be fair. A couple of 4-0s. That is about it. That's as high as it got, really, I think. Losing 3-0 to Lens, actually, and a couple of more losses down here. A 4-2 win, a 4-1 loss to Nice. Auxerre, we lose 1-0 away from home. Are they all away from home? Appears that they are all away from home. Okay, so we were unbeaten at home though, so that's quite interesting. Away draw, home draw, home draw, home draw. Okay, a couple of more home draws. But yeah, not bad. Nice to finish on a win in the end. Clermont, who we drew right at the very beginning. We do get to the final of the French Cup where we play Marseille, and it is Neymar on the 42nd minute to give us the victory and the trophy. Along the way, it has been quite tough though. 2-0 against Metz. Jasio 1-0, penalties against Lorient, 3-1 against Rennes and Montpellier 4-1. Probably the easiest of the ties, but Marseille gave us another good run to second place there. They finished second in the league. They finished the runners-up in the French Cup. Champions League, however, we bow out at the quarter-final stage to Liverpool. After drawing 1-1 at home, we lose 2-0 away from home. That's poor. But in the group stages, we had quite a good easy wins in there. A loss to Sevilla though away from home is disappointing, but we played Dortmund in the round of 16. We win that 4-1, but yeah, we didn't get very much further than that. So first try, very, very disappointing in the Champions League. The squad, however, Mbappe did net 37 goals overall, but only 21 in the league. So I'm wondering whether just to have the one up front and have a couple of wingers maybe, or stick with the diamond formation. Just have probably younger, sprightly more players in there, I'm guessing. Neymar finishes with 25, 19 for Messi, but he did contribute 22 assists, which is really, really good. He's wanted as well, but he runs out at the end of this month. I don't know whether we sign him on for another year, possibly, or do we let him go? He's only worth £5 to £6 million. Probably got another year left in him. Do we be greedy and hang on to him maybe? Icardi, 16 goals, so he still did a job for us, but at 30 years old now, maybe another player that we could probably offload, possibly at £27 million. Neymar and Messi, really, are they a hindrance to the club maybe? Could that be the problem? Assist wise, it is Messi. Verratti gets 17 assists. Fantastic stuff. Again, he's reached 30, £94 million. So if he's still got a couple of years left in his contract, probably look to hang on to him for another season or two. Mbappe's currently injured. He's out for another 3 weeks, so maybe he was out for a little bit longer than that. But 37 goals, 10 assists, though, it's not too bad. 262 million, wowzers. Financially, we have been given 170 million pounds, though. Right, let's go and see what we can do. 170 million pounds, though. Wow, that's impressive. To kick things off, a transfer that was already pre-done. Hugo Ekitike from Reims for £24.5 million. Got some potential. That's the only reason I think that we may have bought him, but we'll see how he gets on. Currently he's in the second team. We may move him to the first. We offload Reina from Dortmund for £45 million. The young wonder kid American is going to be playing in cam role for us this season. For the next two players, we raid Barcelona, £45 million. Ansu Fati comes to the club as well, 20 years old. He'll be playing out on the wing. Not sure which side he's going to be playing. I think more than likely on the right-hand side, but he can play on the left and up front if need be. We paid a little bit more for Alejandro Baldi for our left-back position, £54 million. 19 years old as well. £40.5 million for Samuel Ricky. He's going to be our central midfielder, but we are overloaded currently, so he may not get any game time this season, but he is going to be available next season. And I've used him before in a few rebuilds, and I have been very, very impressed. At 22 years old, another young player. So 5 young players now we've brought in. £209 million spent overall. Obviously, £25 million of that was already done. Out the door, we say Paredes. He goes to Juventus. Again, that was already done. Same with Ndimbe for £6.5 million to Frankfurt. We do lose Kari to Juventus for £5 million. Rico to Sporting for 2.3. A couple will go out on freebies. Draxler going out on loan with the price to buy next season. Say with Barrett, Kurzwa, Dagba as well. So them 4 guys, in fact, we will be getting some money next year for them. We have changed the formation ever so slightly with the loss of Messi. We've only got Mbappe and Neymar, so they're going to be in and around about them 2 positions on the left and up front. Mbappe's got 3 goals already. Reina's going to be in the cam role. Fati on the right-hand side. Baldi in the left back position, and Wittner's still continuing his development in the centre of midfield, which he's done pretty well with last season, so we're going to keep him there another season, see how it develops. Pre-season and the season has gone excellent. I don't know why, but we always draw our first game of the season, this time against Reims 0-0. We do beat Havre 2-0, Angers 2-0 and 2-0 against Monaco. We do retain the Trophée des Champs against Marseille this time, 1-0. Which means we are currently top of the table. It's only Marseille really that can beat us to the top. They have got a game in hand, and they're 3 for 3 currently. We have drawn Dortmund, Sturm Graz and Olympiacos in the Champions League. We're expecting to go through that. So let's get our second season underway. Let's get this simulated, and hopefully this season will be a lot closer to that Champions League again. We finished top of the table once again, and you'll notice that we have only played 34 games as opposed to, I think it was 38 last season. Let me just double check. It was 38 games last season, so we've lost 2 teams. So from a 20 team league to an 18 now, and still we managed to get almost the same amount of points as last season, 84 points. We actually smashed the opposition. Marseille were close last season, not so this time round. We still managed 27 wins and 85 goals, which is a lot more than last time, and we conceded a lot less. In fact, it's the best in the league as well, which is absolutely fantastic. Mbappe, where you would expect him to be, at top of the Golden Boot, 36 goals, superb. Hakimi, Baldi and Mbappe, some of the best players in the league as well. Ansu Fati with the most assists, so that's pretty decent as well. Donnarumma, only 18 clean sheets, which is quite disappointing, but there's no Neymar on there, surprisingly. So just going through some of our results, and a 5-2 victory over Strasbourg stands out a little bit. Lyon, we win 2-1. We draw in Nice. Couple of big wins. We lose to Marseille away from home though, 1-0. So that's not a very good start. And then we lose to Monaco. However, we do get 3 wins in December where we score 5 goals in each of them games. Lyon, we get our own back 3-1 this time. Did we play Monaco again? Where did we play them? We lost there. Did we play them earlier on in the season? Oh, we beat them 2-0. Okay, so we lose 2-0. Okay, they get their own back on us. That's unfortunate, but there's a lot of wins in there, not many draws, which is probably what's helped us. Marseille did have an awful lot of draws. Anything big in there? A 5-0 victory over Marseille. Wow. We get our own back on them then. Did we lose? Yeah, we lost to them away and then we smash them at home, which is what you probably want to see anyway, but we'd like to keep it all unbeaten. The French Cup, we only get as far as the semi-final. Oh dear, after a wonderful 16-0 win in the 9th round. I do feel sorry for them. Who scored, incidentally? Mbappe with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 goals. That's crazy. Neymar with a hat-trick. 9 goals for Mbappe, wow. Nantes, we win 3-0. Annecy 6-2, 6-0 against Olympique Saumur. And then Bordeaux, wow. What happened there? In the semi-final as well. Mbappe got us off to a flying start after 2 minutes, and then we conceded 2 goals in the second half. Plus they had a player sent off and we couldn't manage it. Wow, that's disappointing. I expected us to go through. We may have played a weakened side, I guess. Icardi, did he play? Fabian. Just looking at the side, it doesn't look weak. That's disappointing. However, the Champions League, we do win. We beat Real Madrid on penalties in the end. That is fantastic. And we beat Leipzig in the semi-finals on penalties as well. That is superb. Who scored? Mbappe with both goals. Benzema with a 93rd minute equaliser to take it into extra time on penalties as well. Wow. But he did score his penalty, but Ruben Neves and Modric missed theirs. But all our players scored our penalties. That's fantastic. So now have a look some of the results then. Dortmund, we draw 1-1 and 1-1, home and away. We beat Sturm Graz 4-0 twice. We do lose to Olympiacos, but beat them 5-1 at home. Juventus, we beat 4-0 at home, 4-0 on the aggregate. Liverpool, that's a close 1-0 away from home. Wow. Ansu Fati in the 46th minute. Obviously, they're still on their break, aren't they, when they're coming out? That's brilliant. And then, obviously, the semi-finals and the final. Oh, brilliant. So, we have got PSG, their first ever Champions League. So, let's have a look at some of the goals then. With Wittner getting involved earlier on in the build-up, but as a slide tackle goes a bit wrong, Mbappe runs through and slots it into the net. And that's a glorious sight. With Mbappe being so young as well, he will be the forefront. Him and Donnarumma, they'll be the two players that we want to stick to, minimum at least anyway, either side. That's a cracking goal from outside the box though. But Mbappe with a penalty, and cool, he puts it away to make it 2-1. But to win our first Champions League, that is something. They did come runners up in the Champions League a couple of years back. If you can correct me if I'm wrong, but yeah, this is nice. I mean, to win it on penalties and against Real Madrid as well, both going the same way there, Benzema, and then I think it's we take over from here on in. I think they missed the next penalty. Ruben Neves. It's a good one-handed save by Donnarumma though. I'm assuming it's Donnarumma in goal though, but Verratti straight down the middle. Goalkeeper probably, if he stood there, would have just caught it easily. It's a good penalty by Alaba for Real Madrid. Danilo, again, all into the same corner virtually, so which is quite good. And we could stop the video here, but we're going to see if we can win it another 3 times, if at all possible. So that will be quite good. But see if we can build an unbeaten season. I think that will be the next thing to try and do. We only lost 4 games this time around. Let's see if we can go unbeaten next season and win the Champions League again. So Mbappe, put up front, 67 goals in 51 games. How absurd is that? His contract expires next season. Do we give him a new contract? He's on £900,000 a week. That's just mental. Neymar, 20 goals, 18 assists, which isn't too bad. He's on 800 grand a week. he's on for another 3 seasons at least anyway. If we can bring in somebody better, maybe we offload Neymar and see how we do without him and just have Mbappe there. I'm sure we can pick up a left winger or somebody on the wings that's pretty good as well. Giovanni Reina, 15 goals, 13 assists. Sola, 10 and 6. That's fantastic. 4 people on double figures, but Mbappe, I mean, that's just insane. Assist-wise, Neymar, Fati. Only played 41 games. He's carrying an injury. He's out for another 7 weeks. That's a big injury then. And he's looking pretty good as well. Baldy, same with him as well. 13 assists. Fantastic. I mean, that's brilliant. I mean, it's all the players that we want to get involved in as well. Finances, £143 million being given in the transfer budget. We're going to try and increase that transfer revenue. We'll do that now. Hopefully they will increase that, and that would help us in the transfer market. So start off with Giorgio Scalvini, a centre-back to come in. Marquinhos and Kimpembe are getting a little bit older, so we need to start looking at backups. And Scalvini, 6'4" at 20 years old. He's already at nearly a 5-star. He's still got some potential left in him, and he looks absolutely fantastic. But £65 million from Atalanta. Another big signing, the centre midfield. Verratti is getting older, and I think we may have let him go. We bring in Jude Bellingham for £91 million from Dortmund. That was his release clause, and that's cheap. So yes, please. And wow, he's still looking at that 5-star, but look at them stats. It's almost a sea of bright green. And finally, with a little bit of money, we needed a backup striker. We had a few scares with Mbappe during pre-season. He had a few injuries. We've managed to hang on to Icardi for another season, but we bring in Victor Roque for £17.25 million from ATP in Brazil. So overall, we spent £173 million, but out the door, we do lose Barnett for 17.5. He went out on loan. That was a mandatory fee. Verratti's gone to Al Hilal for up to £19 million. Pereira's gone to Milan for 8.25. Draxler's Hoffenheim 2.3. Garbi for Fiorentina 1.9. And a few other players going out as well. Victor Roque, we've actually sent him back to ATP to go to stay out there on loan for this season. I don't think he's going to get any game time, purely for the fact that we have held on to Icardi for this season. Pre-season has gone absolutely brilliant. Apart from the one draw against Sporting, we've kind of struggled for goals a little bit. That's because Mbappe kept getting injured, hence why we were looking for another striker. Trophy de Champs, 3-1 victory over Marseille. We retain that, so that's trophy number 1 for this season. Monaco, we beat 2-0 after we struggled with them last season. Chelsea, we win in the UEFA Super Cup 2-1 with Ansu Fati and Wittner scoring for ourselves, but a wonderful victory 2-1 in the end. So that's another European trophy. There's no stopping us now, I feel. And I hope that's a fantastic header from Fati, though, on the right-hand side. But like I say, European trophies are coming in now. So this is a second one on the bounce now. Hopefully we can retain the Champions League. That will be quite something, and it's a fantastic goal from Lukaku for Chelsea as well. So hopefully we can go on and win a few more trophies now. Lorient, we win 4-0. We smash Reims 8-0. Mbappe coming back with 5 goals, I think it is. 4 goals, I think he scored. So that's brilliant as well, with Lens being beaten 3-0 as well. We're in the new format for the Champions League, of which we've got Man City, Ajax, Copenhagen, Salzburg, Barcelona, Atletico Madrid, Dinamo and Slavia Prague. We are sitting top of the table, 4 for 4 this time, 17 goal difference. Well, that's after that 8-0 thrashing of Reims, who are sitting mid-table and -6. Confirmation of the win in the Super Cup, the Trophy de Champs as well. We just won the French Cup and the Champions League and the League, and then it's a clean sweep this season. So let's not hold back any further. Let's go and simulate our 3rd season. Well, we've only done it again. 3 championship wins on the bounce now. Even so, only the 1 loss this time. So we spoke about being unbeaten for a full season. We only lost the 1 game, and that came to Nice. 1-0. Was it a home game? Did I just see it was a home game as well, which was almost a fortress for us. Wow. Okay, 91 goals scored, 18 conceded, so just a little bit less than last season, but 28 wins from 34, which is absolutely fantastic as well. Lens finished second. Marseille right down there. They've been second for the past couple of seasons and they've dropped well off the pace. But we win the league by 20 points. Mbappe is not the leading goal scorer. Neymar does get in the leading goal scorers though with 18, so maybe they shared positions possibly. Mbappe, Neymar, Reina and Wittner all amongst them best players in the league. Reina, Neymar and Wittner amongst the top assist makers. Donnarumma gets 21 clean sheets and Scalvini, okay, top of the yellow cards. To be perfectly honest, I don't really mind, but he just shows he's doing his job. So look at this great sea of green and 8-0. That was right at the very beginning. That loss to Nice came in September, in fact, and then we never looked back after that one. 5-0 against Nantes. A couple of wins there. Nice. A 5-1 win over Marseille, which is nice. Lyon 3-2. 5-1 against Reims. 5-1 against Angers Strasbourg. For the 4-0 victory there. Some big scores going through. A 5-0 over Toulouse. And then, yeah, 4 draws right at the very end, the last couple of months. Kind of ruined our momentum, I think. 5-0 against Toulouse. A 4-4 draw with Marseille. And we did score 2 goals. In fact, we were 4-1 down going into the last 20 minutes. That's quite a fight back. Overall, that's impressive. Almost a unbeaten season there. We do get to the final of the French Cup though. We play RC Lens and we beat them 2-0 with Mbappe scoring both goals, giving us our 4th trophy of the season. So far it's a clean sweep. We just need to see how well we do in the Champions League now. I think that's the only trophy that we have, that we need to make it a clean sweep across the board. But a dominant display in the competition. A 5-0 win over Reims, 2-0 over Brest, Lyon 4-2, Rennes 4-0, a 7-1 victory over Nimes in the semi-final. That is just crazy. And then obviously that win in the final itself. We do get to the final of the Champions League, however, but we do lose 1-0 to Real Madrid with Vinicius Jr. netting the winner in the 78th minute. Very disappointing to get to the final again. Coming runners-up, it was almost a clean sweep across the board. 5 trophies it would have been this season. Probably a very momentous and successful season ever. However, it hasn't been easy. We did lose our first game to Man City in the Champions League 1-0, but we do beat Ajax 6-0, Copenhagen 2-0, with 2 draws against Salzburg and Barcelona. Though we do beat Atletico Madrid 2-1, Dinamo 3-0 and Slavia Prague 4-0 in the league phase. So where did we finish in the league phase? We only qualified just into the last 16 with them run of results. 17 points, 1 ahead of Manchester United as well. But in the round of 16 we play Liverpool, which we win 6-5 overall over the 2 legs with, Curtis Jones netting 1 back for Liverpool, making it a little bit tight going into the last 15 minutes of the game. Juventus we beat 5-4 in the quarterfinals. Chelsea was another close game, 5-4, with the winner coming in the 94th minute by Icardi. I was right to keep him on for another season. Fantastic stuff. Mbappe only scores 42 goals this time, despite playing, well, he only played 53 games, but must have been quite hard. Neymar, 27 goals, 28 assists. Now, my reckoning, he must have played up front at some point. He has to have done 55 goal involvements to Mbappe's 51. I mean, there's 100 goals between them there, unless, of course, they're helping each other. 18 goals for Fati, absolutely superb out on the wing. Reina, 16 and 15. Fantastic stuff by these players. They're absolutely brilliant. And Reina's really coming into his own. If you ever need a wonder kid, Reina is the guy to be, especially in that cam position. Icardi weighs in with 7 goals and 2 assists. Morale's pretty good at the moment. He's still contracted for another season. I'm just wondering whether this time maybe let him go. Maybe look to release Neymar as well. He's now injured for 5 weeks, so we can't do nothing just yet. But at £70 million, if we can get that, we could get a decent replacement at least anyway. But there's a lot of other players that are quite young and coming through as well. Donnarumma, 41 goals conceded. Assist-wise, well, Neymar 28, 16 for Wittner, who does really well, 15 for Reina, 12 for Jude Bellingham in his first season alongside 2 goals as well, and 10 for Fatih. I mean, we've got 5 players there in double figures and nearly everybody assisting as well. We have £132 million war chest with that on top of any sales as well. And once again, we shall go to the board and we shall ask for increase of a revenue percentage. We're up to 90%. I'm sure we can get to 100%. We spend £185 million in the market, and our first signing is Cody Gakpo from Liverpool for £67 million to come and sit on that left hand side, although we can play anywhere across the front line. From Almeria, we pick up Marco Carnicetti, £7.5 million, a goalkeeper. I didn't realise we hadn't a backup goalkeeper, so we've been playing with Donnarumma. If he got injured, we would have really been struggling. So we had to go and pick up somebody very, very quickly. And he's a pretty good goalkeeper. He's got some high potential as well, and a lot of bright green attributes as well. We raid Leipzig for the next 2 players. Jasko Carvajal, centre back or left back. Hopefully he's going to be in for the centre back role. But he can play left back as well. We have got Baldy, which we want to try and utilise quite a bit as well. But either way, it doesn't really matter. Everybody's got to fight for the place, and we're trying to put together a big, strong, young side. And for £48 million, I think he's worth it. And our last signing, we bring Nkunku back to France for £62 million, which was his release clause. Very happy to bring him back. He can play in Reina's role, but I'm more or less wanting him to fight for his place in the midfield, but everybody's fighting for the place now. We want the best of the best here, and we're looking for players to replace the likes of Neymar and Messi, etc. So like I said, £185 million spent. Out the door, we lose Marquinhos for £40 million. He goes to Juventus. Juventus also pick up Fabian for £29 million. Icardi finally goes for 7.5. And the big name on here is Neymar. He's gone to Sevilla with an option to buy for £12.5 million next season. We just want to try and offload him to give some of the other players a chance to play. And also we want to reduce our wage budget as well and see how well we do. We've done quite a bit without Messi. Let's see if we can do it without Neymar as well. Pre-season has gone superbly. The Club World Championships, I didn't realise we were in that. We got past the group stage, but we faltered at Man City in the quarterfinals 3-1. The friendlies, without a hitch. We retain the Trophy de Champs again. I think that's for the 4th time on the bounce. Then we start the league campaign with 4 wins out of 4. A 2-0 over Havre. Lille we beat 1-0. 3-1 against As. And Bordeaux 5-0. We've drawn Man City again in the Champions League. We just can't seem to get away from them. Benfica, Celtic, Shakhtar, Inter Milan, Dortmund, Wolfsburg and Spurs. It's going to be an interesting season, this one. Like I say, 4 for 4, top of the table. The Trophy de Champs in the bag. French Cup, hopefully we'll retain that one. We'll get to the final again in the Champions League. So, let's start season 4. See what we can do. And hopefully we can get to the final of the Champions League, like I say, and win it again. Fingers crossed. The second trophy of the season to go alongside our Trophy de Champs. We win the league yet again for the 4th time in a row. We lose 4 games though, amazingly enough. Again, Marseille come close, just 2 points in it, losing just 2 games to Bordeaux and Toulouse. We did lose to Marseille. I think that was just recently, actually, on their way to try and catch us up. But 4 games lost. Disappointing to lose that many, but we only concede 15 goals. Wow, and score 93 goals. That is just amazing. 28 wins once again. We're just dominating this league, as you probably would have expected. Mbappe wins the Golden Boot, 27, just 1 from a Pende as well. But look who we got in their best players in the league. Hakimi, Mbappe, Bellingham, Sanchez as well getting some game time. With Nkunku amongst the ones in the top assist makers in the league as well. Donnarumma, Golden Glove. So with that one loss to Monaco in September, we are literally a sea of green up until a draw to Marseille. So we didn't beat them at all this season. 2 4-0 wins there, 4-0 win there. Some good scores in there. Not many goals conceded at all. 3 goals conceded against Lyon though, out of that 15. Yeah, we haven't conceded many. That's really, really good. Just that 1-0 defeat there as Marseille come charging at us. The French Cup, we win again for the 3rd time in this rebuild. The 2nd time on the bounce. Coming after extra time. Wonderful nick there from Mbappe. They running straight through and taking it off their player like that. Fantastic. Ansu Fati gets the winner in extra time. That is after Lille equalised through an own goal as well. Carvajal. Was that an own goal? I'm not sure if that was an own goal or not. It seemed like it. In fact, I thought we were going to have another look though. But Bellingham in there involved in the winner for Ansu Fati, who's just left alone in the middle of the box. Fantastic stuff. Trophy number 3. Again, another dominant display in the competition. A 4-0 win over Red Star. Strasbourg we thrashed 5-0. 2-1 against Nice. Auxerre we thrashed 5-1. 2-1 against Rennes in the Cup semi-final. And obviously the win in extra time. We also win the Champions League for the 2nd time in this rebuild. We are really getting some really good players in now to doing the jobs. We fall behind though, as early just before half time, or that may have been after half time, but we fight back to lead 2-1, only to be pegged back again towards the end of the game, and then obviously we win it in extra time. But fantastic result though, 3-2 overall. What can I say? We've had a quarter-final in the 1st season, a win in the 2nd season. We get runners up in the 3rd. We get to the final again in the 4th. We win it again for the 2nd time. So we've reached the final 3 times on the bounce now. 2 wins and a runners up. As we see the final goal, Reina off his chest and just slots it in the corner. Fantastic goal. And as you can see by the stats, very, very dominant. It didn't go all our way in the Champions League, it has to be said. We lose to Man City 1-0 in the 1st game. Then we beat Benfica 5-0, Celtic 3-1, Shakhtar 3-0, 2-2 with Inter. Dortmund we beat 1-0, and then we beat Wolfsburg and Spurs 3-1 and 2-0 respectively, which left us 4th. Okay, Liverpool win it with Barcelona behind them, and Arsenal. Atletico, Man City. Where did Villarreal? They finished in 11th position, losing 3 games. Newcastle, Galatasaray and Bayern Munich. Who did they beat? Genk, Ajax, Liverpool. Wow. And Juventus. We played Tottenham again, this time in the round of 16. We beat them 3-2 after coming from behind a 2-0 margin away from home. That's brilliant. With a 112th minute winner from Mbappe. Man City we play in the quarterfinals. We didn't lose. We thrashed them we beat them 5-3 in Manchester. Liverpool, another English team. We played English teams all the way through the knockout stages, apart from the final. Liverpool we beat 6-0 at home. Oh my goodness! After losing the first leg 2-0, Gakpo, Kunku, Fati with a brace, Mbappe, Solar as well. 6-0. And we only just steer past Villarreal to win it. What can I say? I'm really, really happy. We probably need to tweak this side with 1 or 2 more players just to make it complete. But I think we're pretty solid now. That's 4 trophies won. It's a clean sweep this season, boys and girls. Mbappe resumes his goal scoring form. 46 goals with 19 assists. Wow, he might have played on the wing, you know. Ansu Fati, 20 goals, 15 for Gakpo and 11 assists in his 1st season. And Kunku as well, 14 goals, 12 assists. Reina, 13 goals, 10 assists. Donnarumma, 36 conceded. I'm interested to see how many clean sheets he did get. They always say for a goalkeeper, you're only as good as the defenders you have in front of you. 23 clean sheets. Phenomenal. £157 million in the war chest. Ooh, what can we do with that? Let's go and spend this and see if we can improve the side some more. We spent £55 million. Alejandro Garnacho from Manchester United. The youngster, the 22-year-old, got a very bright future ahead of him. We've decided to bring him over to France and see what he can do with PSG. £69 million from Chelsea. Mikhailo Mudryk, left winger or right winger, or I think he's going to be a competition for Gakpo on that left hand side. Neymar's no longer featuring, he's gone out on loan again. We'll have a look at that in just a second. But his stats look very, very nice as well. And ability, geez, his potential's quite high as well. So hopefully we'll see a lot of him. And then with just some spare change, we raid Barcelona for Eric Garcia up to £70 million. A lot of money, but we couldn't get any decent players in. He looks superb. I mean, I think he's going to be a backup this season, at least anyway, for the centre-backs. But Kimpembe is now into his 30s. We'll be looking to move him along if we were having a bit longer. He is probably a prime candidate to replace him. So £189 million spent this time round. Not an awful lot, but enough. Out the door, we say goodbye to Sola. He goes to Manchester United for £22 million. Lalande goes for £9 million to Spurs. Karen goes for Juventus for 6.25. These were all in the youngsters. I'm sure they were. Diallo wasn't. He goes to Vigo for £6 million and a couple of other players going out. And Neymar's gone to Atalanta this season. He's into his final season in his contract. We just cannot offload him. 800 grand a week. Who's going to pay that? There has been a request in down one of the previous rebuild comments to show the Real Madrid tactics. We are currently using our Real Madrid rebuild tactics apart from a couple of tweaks. So instead of complete wing backs where we have here for PSG, for Real Madrid we would just use normal wing backs. Instead of a DLP we would have a ball winning midfielder. We would also have an attacking midfielder where the AP one is, and an inside forward on attack where the inverted winger is on this one. So there's just them few tweaks to the positions for the PSG purely for the players that we have got. But other than that, it is exactly the same as the Real Madrid tactic. If we have a look at possession, if you want to take screenshots, you can do. We attack the width fairly narrow. Passing direct is shorter. Tempo slightly higher. Work the ball into the box and run at defence. In transition, we counter press, we hold shape, we distribute quickly and play the ball along the back four. And out of possession, we're much higher defensive line and a high press, get stuck in and prevent the short goalkeeper distribution. So that is basically it. It is a pretty good tactic, but I think it only works with decent players in there. And as you can see in the schedule so far, we've won every single game. The friendlies was fantastic. An 8-2 victory over Besiktas, followed by a 9-2 victory in the Kimpembe's testimonial over Porto. Marseille, we beat in the Trophy de Champs, so retain that for the 5th time on the bounce after a 3-3 draw and win on penalties. Chelsea, we beat on penalties as well in the UEFA Super Cup, so we win that one as well. So another 2 trophies to start the season off already. In the league, we've already beat Lyon, Monaco and Toulouse quite convincingly. The Champions League, we have drawn Manchester United, Atletico Madrid, Lugano, Dortmund, Wolfsburg, Sveda, Juventus, Bayern Munich, and that is it. Top of the table, smashing goals in left, right and centre. Fantastic goal difference. We've already opened up a 3-point gap. Confirmation of the wins in the trophies. So let's get into our final season. There's nothing more to be done. See if we can have a clean sweep again. Now we've won the Super Cup. Can we make it 5 trophies this season? We just need the French Cup, the League and the Champions League again. Can we get to the Champions League final and win it again? That would be phenomenal. So let's go ahead and find out. Well, for the 5th time on the bounce, we win the league yet again. I think even more convincingly, even though with 84 points, we finish 13 ahead of Marseille yet again. But 27 wins, 114 goals this season with 18 against. There's only Marseille that conceded less, surprisingly enough. Mbappe, league's leading goal scorer with 41 goals. Gakpo with 17 as well. But 41 goals, 20 goals more than Sek of Strasbourg in 2nd place. And if you have a look at the top right, 1, 2, 3, 4, is that 6? That's 6. We've won it 6 times on the bounce. 5 in this rebuild alone. That is some going for PSG. Absolutely phenomenal stuff. So after our unbeaten start, we do falter straight away to Lille 2-2, but we do come back with 3 straight wins. Marseille we lose 1-0 to. Reims we lose 2-1 to, surprisingly, away from home as well. But we're back to winning ways straight off the bat. Goals galore, 4-0, 6-0 against FCSM, 8-0 thrashing of Troyes, 7-0 thrashing of Toulouse as well. And before that we lost to Monaco 3-2. 6-0 Lille. Did we lose to Lille up there? No, we drew with them and then thrashed them at home. 7-0 against Strasbourg. Big scores coming through this season. Unbelievable stuff. That's a relatively successful season. Pity we didn't go unbeaten. However, to retain the title, it's only to be expected. However, we do retain the French Cup with Mbappe scoring as early on as the 17th seconds into the game. 1-0. We win it 3-0 overall for our 3rd win on the bounce in this competition. Another dominant display. Can we do it in the Champions League? That's where the questions are being asked. The domestics are just... we've dominated the domestic competitions for the last... all of the seasons apart from winning the French Cup in the 2nd season. That is our only... not winning a domestic trophy. A dominant display against Bordeaux. 34 shots against 5. 64% possession. It's a slaughter. Again, like I said, we dominate. 5-1 against Caen. Pau FC 4-1. 2-1 against Rennes. 6-1 against Auxerre. And 5-0 against Monaco in the semi-final. Wow. We don't get to the final of the Champions League, unfortunately. We lose to Liverpool this time, even though we have played them in previous seasons and scraped by. But we lose 4-2 overall, 2-1 in each leg. Very, very unfortunate. We always come a cropper when it comes to the teams like Liverpool and Man City. But this season it wasn't to be. We do lose to Manchester United 1-0 with Gnabry getting the winner in the 63rd minute. But we beat Atletico Madrid 2-0. Lugano 3-1. 3-3 with Dortmund. We draw with Wolfsburg and then thrash Zvezda 8-2 before losing to Juventus 2-0 and then going on to beat Bayern Munich 4-0. Barcelona we beat 3-2 in the playoff rounds. That suggests we didn't qualify in the top 8. 12th. We struggled this season. So who won it overall? It was Liverpool, so we lost to the eventual winners. I can't feel bad about that. Have a look at our squad for the final time. And Mbappe, still only 28 years old. He's still got a contract for another 2 seasons. 825,000. He was a £900,000, remember. We managed to secure another deal with him on reduced wages. I mean, that's just a phenomenon in itself, isn't it? But 59 goals from him this season. Absolutely brilliant. 28 from Gakpo as well. Fati gets 15. And Nkunku 14. 12 for Reina. Mudryk with 12. Neymar scores 12 at Atalanta as well. But what did our other... Garnacho, how did he do? 4 goals in 14 starts. That's not bad with 6 assists. That's brilliant. But we get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 players on double figures. Assist-wise, only 5 players reach double figures, but 19 for Wittner, 12 for Nkunku, Mudryk 12, Reina 11, 10 for Hakimi as well. A lot of players getting a lot of game time and getting a lot of assists. The only guys that didn't assist is Roque with 1 goal and no assists. Michele had a few games. Carnesecchi, goalkeeper, 2 games, 2 goals conceded. And Donnarumma, 40 goals conceded overall. That is superb. And I think they're going to be pretty set up for the next couple of seasons as well. Staffing, we are the best at everything. Recruitment, medical staff and coaching staff, which is where you want to see it. Finances is £320 million in there. 126 in the budget though. Would like to see that a little bit more. Any debts, has that come down at all? £355 million remaining though, with £49 million net debt. So this is where we're going to leave it. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you did enjoy that. We did manage to win the Champions League twice and runners up once, so we got to the final 3 times. that was objective complete. In fact, it was done in the second season. We just wanted to see how far we did get. We did win the Super Cup twice as well, but we dominated domestic trophies. There's only one that we did not win in, and that was the second season in the French Cup. Apart from that, we dominated every trophy going in, which is absolutely superb. So like I say, if you did enjoy that, smash that like button, subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already, and we'll see you on the next rebuild.